Hello there and welcome to the Leeds United versus Liverpool preview. Big game, and every single game, which I've been saying for a long time, but every single game is just absolutely massive. We've got 7 games left of the Premier League now. We will have a look at the Premier League table as well and some things that may have happened this weekend as well that may tip things in our favour, but it is still up to us to put the work in to try and get ourselves into a Champions League spot. I hope you guys are doing really well since the Real Madrid game as well, in a game which I felt that we actually gave a good account of ourselves, just not in front of goal. That's just my opinion. I felt that the rest of the game was pretty good as well. And if we can go into this game against Leeds with a similar sort of attitude, similar sort of intensity, I think we can get a positive result here as well. We can't forget that these guys gave us a really tough game the opening day of the season as well. So we know what this Leeds team are about, and they've been impressive this season throughout. They really have. They picked up some bad results here or there, but they picked up some absolutely brilliant results as well. What we're going to go into first of all is to have a look at some things that were taken from Klopp's press conference as well. Mainly just some key things where we're talking about either injuries or how he feels about the performances that we've got left. So in terms of it presenting another challenge for us and one that he wants to conquer in terms of getting top 4, it would be cool. It would be absolutely cool to get some momentum to close out the season. But the thing we shouldn't forget is the opponent we always face, but now it's the situation. We won the last 3 games before the Champions League game. We won the last 3 games. That's why we're still in the fight for a Champions League spot. If we would have only won 1 or drew 2, it would look completely different. The season would be an absolute calamity, which it has been, to be fair, let's be honest. So the way is clear. We have to win football games. The best way would be win all of the football games, but there are tough opponents, and we respect that. We really respect that. Leeds is really special, and for that we have to be ready. The manager also had words on a really good Leeds side, who are managed by one of the best. The threat of Patrick Bamford and his centre-back combination of Ozan Kabak and Nat Phillips. So good things as well in terms of no new injury news as well. So it won't be Curtis Jones in the midfield. You're going to have to ignore one of the players that I put in for my starting 11. I didn't read that properly before. So anyway, never mind. No new concerns usually. I always have someone, but no new ones, which is really good news as well. Apparently Gomez and such. Gomez, let's have a look actually. I think I got it up. Apparently Henderson, Van Dijk, Joe Gomez, Joel Matip are all on course for their scheduled returns. Obviously, it is the 18th of April that I'm recording this on today. I don't think that Jordan Henderson will be back. I don't imagine him playing against Leeds, or I don't know. I don't imagine him playing. I don't know when. We don't know when. We don't really get much of an update. Just that they're on track. Obviously, we don't really. This can't be an accurate on track for these guys as well. But at least in terms of Klopp and what he's looking for, these guys are on track for what he's expecting, which is decent. That's really all that we can ask for. What we're going to do now is we're going to jump over to the old Premier League table. Now, we obviously are still in 6th position. Tottenham and Everton played on Friday night, and they played out a 2-all draw, which is obviously very good for us. If either one of those teams won, it would have put them level on points with us, I think, or Tottenham would have been able to go level on points with us, and Everton would have been able to go a point behind us. And our goal differences, ours and Tottenham's, is very similar. I think theirs is actually just 1 better than ours from what I'm reading on here. West Ham also played on Saturday, and they lost 3-2 to Newcastle. Pretty sure that was the game. It was Newcastle, was it? I'm sure, whichever it was, West Ham lost it this weekend. Which is big, because if we win, our goal difference is actually better than West Ham's. We would be level on games played, and then it relies on Chelsea dropping points as well. If obviously Chelsea pick up a draw, I think they would go above us as well. They would knock us down to 5th. This all relies on. This is always awkward because it always relies on other teams. Now we are relying on other teams doing a favour for us, and it's not a nice position to be in. It really isn't. But it's the position that we're in. We have to fight for top 4. We've got tough opposition. People say that Liverpool have the easiest on paper. We have the easiest running on paper. I don't agree because teams have exposed us all season. That is just how it's been. We've been exposed by teams that you wouldn't expect, the likes of Fulham as well. Obviously, Aston Villa smashed us that time they played us, and we lost 7-2. Opening day of the season against Leeds, where we won it, but it was 4-3. Needed a Salah hat trick to get the job done. Really, there's been some really strange, out of character performances and results for Liverpool, and hopefully we can end the season in a bit more of a positive way, but it's not going to be easy. Leeds United versus Liverpool. Now, first off, before we go any further, I want to look at Leeds. Their set of results is actually pretty decent. They currently sit at 10th. I think Arsenal have just played and got a draw with Fulham, 1-1, but Leeds are currently 10th, so any positive result would actually take them above Arsenal. Arsenal haven't been good this season, so it might not be seen as much of an achievement, but Leeds being 10th in the table, their first season back in the Premier League, the top of English football for 16, 17 years, and this is their return in, they've been nothing short of exceptional, in my opinion. They've been really, really good. The fact that they've got 14 wins and 14 losses and only 3 draws pretty much tells you what you get from Leeds. They are going to go at you, and they will either win, they'll either win or they'll die on their sword. They'll fall on their sword, sorry. They'll fall on their sword. They will die trying. They will absolutely die trying. That is what this team does. I think their worst result this season was a 6-2 loss or something, maybe 5-2, 6-2 loss to Manchester United, which is no mean feat for how Man United are doing this season. They're only 11 points off Man City, 1 game in hand. You never know how that's going to go. They play Burnley today. Leeds have been fantastic. Leeds have been a huge breath of fresh air, similar to when Norwich came up a season or two ago, and congratulations to Norwich, they're coming back up next season. Obviously, Sheffield United have been relegated now, that is confirmed. Norwich played good football, but they couldn't get the results. They played good football. Leeds play really good football, impressive football, and I'll tell you right now, apart from when they play Liverpool, my team, apart from when they play us, Leeds are a team that I actively search out to go and watch if Liverpool aren't playing at the same time, because I enjoy watching Leeds. They play impressive football. They don't have great big name signings. They've got all these players that they've had from the Championship. Got some players that they actually brought in. I think Rafinha, Rodrigo were players that they brought in. Rafinha probably being the guy that is probably a bit more impressive out of those 2 signings. They've definitely got a couple more as well, but they've adapted to this league really, really well. People might turn around and say it's a one-off. Look at Sheffield United last year. I don't think so with this Leeds team. I think with a good finish, a top half finish, which they are definitely capable of, and a bit more funds, bit of that Premier League funding as well into the transfer market next year, and if they keep Marcelo Bielsa, I think that this Leeds team can actually go on and do some really, really good things. They could actually get themselves finishing consistently either into the mid-table or into the higher echelons of mid-table, where we're talking like 9th, 8th, 7th, possibly 6th, those sort of positions where you can get into the Europa League and stuff like that. Can they push on from there? Time will tell. The league table changes in that middle section quite a lot, depending on how other teams are doing as well. But Leeds, I don't know what their running is. I don't know if I've got it here or if I've got it on the other screen. After us, they play Man United. Okay, so they don't have the easiest run-in. Let's just be honest. In fact, I think I can look at matches. Oh no, that's our head-to-head. If we go down and look here, I think I can get a bit more. Maybe not. Anyway, doesn't matter. They've been very impressive. They apparently could. Liam Cooper got red carded against Manchester City, which is unfortunate for them. Rodrigo's doubtful, but doesn't seem to feature a great deal. But Rafinha could be a doubt as well. I'll take it on the chin. I would say that Rafinha is going to be available, all that sort of stuff as well. Don't know who will be replacing Liam Cooper, but even regardless of any of that, this team is a team that just works for each other. This team just works so hard for each other, and they work so hard as a unit. Like, their pressing game is clever. It's not overly aggressive. It is if they want to up it a little bit, they can, but it's not overly aggressive. But they never back off. Like it's always there. It's like something just behind you. It's just always there. And all of these players contribute to it. Calvin Phillips being one of their star players this season, fantastic player, absolutely brilliant player. Jack Harrison, I'm not entirely. I think he's either the guy that is the Man City guy on loan, who, regardless of any of that, Stuart Dallas scored the goals against Manchester City, I think it was. Patrick Bamford. And Patrick Bamford's been really good. I'll finish that one there. He's been really good, scored some good goals. Still has the issues sometimes in front of goals where it takes him maybe like 4 or 5 shots to score a goal. But generally, he's been really, really good this season. Very pleased to see him do well. And their young goalkeeper, Meslier, I think is his name. What a goalkeeper! On it, no offense to the guy, he looks like he's made of nothing. Like he looks like he's just he hasn't been built and he's not filled out yet. But what a goalkeeper he's actually turned out to be this season. Because I know that they had this what was his name, Kiko Casilla or something like that, and Leeds fans weren't necessarily a big fan of him. This Meslier guy has come in, young lad. What a goalkeeper! Good shot stopper, good distribution, impressive. The most impressive thing I found when I watched Leeds against Manchester City was Manchester City have been a juggernaut all season. They didn't play exceptionally well in that game against Leeds. But what was different was Leeds were down to 10 men against the juggernaut that's been Manchester City, and they were able to not control Manchester City, that's wrong. Manchester City had the majority of the possession. They were having the majority of the possession in their half, but they defended for their lives. They worked for each other really, really hard, and they got their just desserts. They got a good result as well. They beat the champions elect. You know, Manchester City are pretty much there. It's not over yet, but these guys actually won. I think the first time these guys played against each other as well, I think it was a draw, a 1-1. I might have that one wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was. You know, these guys are going to be so hard for us to come up against. This isn't my starting 11. Might be similar. It might actually be a little bit similar. Might be exactly the same. It's not. There is a difference. But yeah, we are going to have to work our balls off in this game to get a good result against Leeds. We really, really are. My lineup is here. You're going to have to ignore Curtis Jones. As we've read before in the This Is Anfield article, he hasn't travelled and won't be available in the squad. So instead of Curtis Jones, we're probably going to put, for me, I'm going to put James Milner. James Milner was absolutely exceptional against Real Madrid, and his work rate, it's exactly what we need right now. We don't Thiago, you could possibly even take out as well. You could go with that same midfield that started against Real Madrid, and you could go with Fabinho, Gini Wijnaldum, and James Milner, and that would actually be really, really good. That would actually work really well. Obviously, you've got options that I would normally put up, like the 4-2-3-1s. I decided not to because Klopp doesn't seem to be going for it either. Clearly, he's not watching. But no, honestly, I think that something like this could work, where you've got someone like Fabinho who will probably be coming up against the likes of, well, maybe Calvin Phillips when he's trying to roam. You've got Thiago who can hopefully help us retain possession, and then in place of Curtis Jones, James Milner, who will be the leader in the middle of the pitch, which I think is absolutely crucial for us going in to the end game of this season, which is this last 7 games. This is all we have. We've only got Premier League games now, and we only have to shoot for the top 4 as hard and as high as we can. That is what we need to do. That is our priority, and that is all we have to do. I make that sound like as if it's going to be an easy thing to do. It won't be easy. The teams we're coming up against, it's not going to be easy whatsoever. But I think that we can do it, definitely. But we need to be smart about our selections. When Jordan Henderson comes back into contention and is available, that's going to give us a bigger boost in midfield as well. That is where you could have, people tend to call it a Brexit midfield, and I don't like it, where you could have the likes of Henderson and Milner playing in the same midfield. They are both fantastic midfielders, and they could go in with Fabinho really, really well. It's a hard working midfield. I think that's what people don't like about it. They'll be like, why aren't we using Thiago? He's someone that can spot a pass. Yes, he can, but he's also so prone to getting rash yellow cards, always being one rash tackle away from a second yellow card in games as well, and doesn't necessarily have the work rate of a James Milner, of a Henderson, of a Curtis Jones and stuff like that, that will get up and down the pitch all the time at speed, and they'll be looking to break quickly themselves. Sometimes Thiago can slow us down a little bit, and it is sometimes necessary, but sometimes unnecessary. In this type of game, against a hard-working, high work rate team like Leeds, I would say I'd go against my own selection here. Fabinho, Milner, and Gini Wijnaldum. That's what I would go for. The rest of it pretty much speaks for itself. I'll obviously speak on Shaqiri and Mane. The back four doesn't change. Alisson doesn't come out. Jota starts and Salah starts as well. Why have I put Shaqiri in there and not Mane? I think that Shaqiri deserves a go. I think that Shaqiri deserves a chance on that left-hand side purely because Mane's levels just aren't there. Like, his work rate was good against Madrid, but his end product wasn't there. For me, it doesn't matter who the player is, but if they aren't really pulling it off in the team, and it's been consistently like that for a while, we need to be giving someone else a go. And for me, this person would be Shaqiri. Some people might look to Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. I wouldn't, because when he plays in the forward positions on the wing, in the wing positions, it's not his strongest position. His strongest position's through the middle, like in the midfield, in my opinion, when he's played well for us. That's where he would shine. But it's going to be really difficult for Oxlade-Chamberlain to get into our midfield. That's just the truth. And to be honest, I think Shaqiri has deserved more of a chance more often this season than he's got. Because whenever he's been on the pitch, he tends to contribute in some way, tends to make us that little bit more dangerous. Yes, it might look like rose-tinted, I'm wearing rose-tinted glasses or something because of what he did in the build-up to Trent's goal for against Aston Villa to win the game. But it's things like that that we don't see right now from Mane. And I'm not slagging Mane off. Love the guy. Absolutely love him. Fantastic player for us. But right now, it's not happening for him. And it's not happening for him when he comes off the bench. It's not happening for him when he starts at the moment. I don't know if people would be opposed to it, but I would be more than pleased to see Shaqiri start. And then I think the rest of it, the attack, makes sense. Some people might look at Salah and think, well, why would you start Salah and not Mane? Salah didn't do much against, Real Madrid. But Salah is one of our most consistent goal scorers. Is one of those guys that can sometimes pop up with a goal out of nowhere. He is one of our most consistent attackers. That's why he's in there for me. And Jota is just more dangerous than Bobby Firmino. Bobby Firmino is definitely one of those players that if he starts instead of Jota, or you play Bobby Firmino through the middle, you put Jota on the left-hand side, whichever. I think that Jota is much more dangerous through the middle, in my opinion, anyway. And I think, Leeds don't have the fastest back line. I think that Jota and Salah and Shaqiri could all create havoc for their back line as well. We know that, coming up against this Leeds team, we obviously played them at the start of the season, and it was, wow, what did we play? I don't even know if I can get the head-to-head. This one, the 4-3. Obviously, the lineup's going to be completely different, but yeah, Salah got the man of the match, I think it was. Well, we had Naby Keita in there, Gini Wijnaldum, obviously Jordan Henderson, Van Dijk, Gomez, had all of these guys, and these guys still put three past us. They made this game really, really difficult for us as well. It's going to be a hard game. I hope it's nothing like this game where we had to win 4-3. I'd like to see a bit more control from Liverpool. I really would. I want to go back to this lineup, my lineup, I should say. I want to go back to my lineup. I want to see much more control, which I think we will. Controlling possession, controlling how they break on us as well. If Rafinha is going to be available for Leeds, that is definitely one of the key guys to be looking out for. But they're all threats. You can sometimes see Leeds left backs, or Ayling or Alioski. You can see these guys coming into centre forward positions, getting right up. This Leeds team just, they're so well drilled in what they do by Bielsa, and they are not allowed to take their foot off the gas 1 second under their manager. Like, it's just crazy to see when you see like Alioski can be in a centre forward position, or you see Luke Ayling on a left wing position, something like that. They can overload you with pressure. You know, they may not have like the name quality or the quality that other teams have, but their work rate and their team work rate is just so difficult to come up against. Obviously, I'm hoping that Liverpool win. I think that Liverpool will win. I think it could end up being a little bit similar to playing when we played Aston Villa. Like, I think it's going to be a really, really tight game. I don't think that Leeds will sit off us, which could benefit us as well, but it also means that we have to be careful with our high line. We have to be careful because we obviously don't have that recovery pace of Van Dijk and Gomez, and you know we know the limitations there of Phillips and Kabak. We need to be careful with that high line of letting Bamford, Rafinha, Harrison, these guys, Stuart Dallas, Tyler Roberts, any of these guys or any of their other players that they might play. We have to be so careful of that. But I don't think that these guys are going to park the bus against us because it's just not the Leeds way. Leeds will, whether they're playing Fulham, whether they're playing West Brom, whether they're playing Man City, whether they're playing us. We've seen it already this season against us. They will come at us and we will have to deal with it. We'll have to play our game and hope that our game's better. I think it's going to be 3-2. 3-2 Liverpool. I think it's going to be tight. I think it's just going to be a really, really tight game, a really awkward game. I'm not a fan of Monday night games. I'm really not. It's awkward. Like, I don't know, because like the rest of the league will have played, or like if they played FA Cup games, and I think there's Premier League games midweek and stuff like that as well. It's just an awkward time of the week to play. But for me, I think it's going to be 3-2 to Liverpool. I hope it's a bit easier. I hope for a clean sheet. We never know what can happen. But that's my prediction. That's my video on Leeds United versus Liverpool. Let me know what you think in the comments below about this game as well, because it's such a big one that can hopefully set us on a roll for the rest of the season. Anyway, thank you ever so much for watching. Please do get your thoughts and comments in the comments section below. But for now, I'm going to get out of here. Please do enjoy the rest of your Sunday. But for now, I will catch you later.